Okay, as part of our um, preparation, we're going to continue solving problems. This is day 2, and we are going to try to solve this problem right here. For the ones that don't know, welcome in whichever platform you are. I really don't know yet where I'm going to post these videos, but my purpose here is trying to document my process of getting ready for an entry-level job in tech, specifically in software development. I am a business owner. I own a web design agency in North Carolina, and I'm just trying to make a leap to a different career. And I'm very inclined to software development, and that's what I'm doing this. Just trying to speak out loud the problems I'm gonna try to be solving. We are aware of websites like LeetCode. I've done some LeetCode. You can check my GitHub and check all the little projects and LeetCode problems I've solved, and also, I think that's about it. I just wanna do a little intro for the ones that don't know. Today we're gonna tackle this easy problem. It's the staircase problem. I'm using HackerRank because my goal is to apply for IBM. I got a coding assessment from them that I'm trying to prepare for. So still have a few days left. So let's see how it goes. My goal is to solve at least 2 problems per day, like 2 easy ones, and then jump into the medium ones and so forth. So let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Is there anything else I'm missing? I feel like I am. Just gonna open my notes here. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not missing anything. This is the problem I solved yesterday. The video is posted somewhere. I'm really not sure if I'm gonna be posting these videos on YouTube or Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. Who knows where these videos are gonna go. Hopefully, it's try to keep a log of my process. And yeah, let's see. This one was an easy one, and today we're gonna try to do the same. So just real quick here, I'm gonna try to pop a quick little note overview of the problem. I'm gonna do that in a second. Let's go ahead and try to solve this problem. So this is staircase of size n equals 4, and as we can see here, right off the bat we can see is a 2D array or a matrix. We're talking about I'm not gonna assume. I haven't read too much, but that's what it looks like. Its base and height are both equal to n. It is drawn using the pound symbol and spaces. The last line is not preceded by any spaces. Sorry about my English today, you guys. I'm running low on balance sometimes. Write a program that prints a staircase of size n. Function description. Complete the staircase functions in that order below. Staircase has the following parameters. Integer. Okay. So we get integer as an input. Then we have to print staircase of the size of that input, I believe. So a single integer n denoting the size of the staircase. Constraint, the integer is going to be between 1 and 100. So 0 is less than n, and n is less or equal to 100, so between 1 and 100. The output, it's going to print the staircase of size n using the pound symbols and spaces, and the last line must have no spaces. So here we get an input 6. So that's going to print a staircase of size 6 and height 6 and size 6. So we're talking about width and length, right? I mean, so to speak, we have the base, which is equal to 6, and going up the sides we have equal 6 too. So let's write a line composed by now has height 6. Okay, yeah, it seems to me that this is a to the array, a matrix kind of problem. Just by the simple inspection, we can say, if it has the base and height equal, we're talking about that is a square matrix, right? So let's see what we can come up with. I have to analyze. We have 6 minutes into this video. 2 of those minutes, 2.5, were of introduction. So let's say it took me somewhere around 4 minutes to read the problem. I think I understand what I have to do. I really don't have any questions so far because I understand the basic output I have to produce based on the size or the integer, right? So I would say obviously I would go for a brute force first, just to kind of like inspect the problem. I would say I would have to have some sort of iteration, right? So for every number, for every item in this number, I'm going to print that same amount of lines. So as we go up, lines are -1, but notice how the last line doesn't have any space. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm trying to kind of like just highlight to see, and as we can see, this is the last line and it doesn't have any spaces as the problem specifies. There's no spaces in the back, even though we can see some spaces here, but this is really a line. The spaces are on the left of the array of the matrix, because we start printing from the top and then we go down, and what we're basically doing is substituting spaces with the pound symbol, and at the end there's no spaces. It's just the total amount of that integer in pound sign, right, or symbol. So let's see how am I gonna approach this problem. I'm going to jump to my second screen. Let's go back to this because we kind of paused I was trying to record the second screen and somehow I just paused the video. Anyways, I don't think I can record that second screen, so I'm just gonna go ahead and stop sharing these 2 screens. Currently sharing, I guess, yeah. Anyways, we are going to, so what I'm trying to grab is my Excalidraw tool from here. This is one of my favorite little tools. This is how a lot of people actually explore um, problems in a way of, kind of like a whiteboard. Um, I'm trying to think here, guys. I'm trying to think how I can approach this problem, because it's easy and I understand the premise of it, but I can't think of how I can produce the output clearly, right? I'm trying to think, and I think that's the main base of the problem. So let's see. I remember in Python, I remember part of a class I took one time, and it was trying to produce these kind of outputs where you can like draw with Python, or not draw, but necessarily like printing strings. And that's a good point. Like the data type, we have to think about the data type, right? So we're producing a string as an output, and that's something I have to keep in mind, right? Producing a string as an output, so we're gonna print. Here, let me just do this. Again, the purpose of this is for me to learn. So I'm not trying to not learn, if that makes sense. Like, I'm trying to actually learn, so I'm not going to try to think about how to solve the problem if I don't know a right approach. I can start just typing code, but that's not going to be the way for me to learn, right? Everyone learns in a different way. And I figure that if I can get my eyes into the problem, if I can find a way to solve the problem, then I'm going to be able to understand what lays behind it, right? So yeah, that's I think that's the main thing I'm doing. Okay, so print. I'm gonna say print a matrix Python. Obviously, the NumPy library or method is going to come up, but row in matrix join map string row. Okay, for row in matrix list of lists, you can, if your metric is represented, nope. So this is basically what we need, but we're gonna substitute each output by the pound sign, and we're gonna alter its position. So like 7, 8, 9 is gonna be, up here will be 5, 6, and then up here will be 3, right? And that would make a 3 by 3 matrix. So if you're using NumPy, I'm trying to stay away from NumPy. I'm gonna try to stay away from pandas. So maybe the way we do this is not matrix, because matrix is always related with NumPy or pandas libraries to work with data in this way. So let's do print to the array. Print to the array in Python. It's actually the same thing. So the fact that I Google it, tab separated values, the screen color changed. I guess that's fine. It doesn't look too bad. Comma separated values, that's for CVS, NumPy. I'm not asking the right question, I'm sure I'm not. So we're trying to print We're trying to print sequence, okay? Sequence of strings in Python. Let's see here in Stack Overflow, k equals 0 for every item in the sequence. If k equals n minus 1, print I plus print I. No, this is not what I'm looking for. Because this is just printing a particular list in a sequence. Now, could that be an option? No. Just thinking we like create some sort of. I just realized that my camera captures that little picture of my dog in the back when I kind of cross my lenses through it. And here we are, guys, getting distracted. Let's go back to this. Let's see, plotting and programming in Python. Python string. No. This is not what we're looking for. This is not what we are looking for. Let's check the Stack Overflow. Let's just go ahead and check, because understand how to print every item in the list. But I suppose splitting the item into equal 3. And understand my damn way up, but I can see. So you can iterate over and some people are insane using Python. Like, list comprehensions are so cool. I've seen so many examples, and like they work so cool, but like that looks like regex at that point, you know? Like, what is this? Oh, it looks really cool. I know who you are. And you don't deserve to be in the realm. Alright. Can't find anything here. Okay, print sequence of. Let's ask like this. No, we're not. we're not finding answers. So print. There's gotta be a way I can find how to get there. Size 4. So for every item in N4, print N-1. So that would print 3 spaces. Two, 3, and 4. I'm 100% sure it's not a hard problem. It is not a hard problem. I just have to look at it through in a different way. Where is the? Okay, I'm gonna try to do it here. Right, there's no reason why not to. So we have a matrix of symbols that goes somewhere like that, and it's gonna be lead by spaces. So I'm gonna say I have gonna do a 4x4 just to make it simple. It's right aligned, so everything is on the right. So we are going to, I'm actually gonna move this guy over here. And then it says we have 4, then we're gonna have 3, then I'm going to have 2, right? So how do I create that? If I have events equal to 4, I can print, I can iterate over 4, so for every item in N, or in the range of N actually, I'm going to print the pound sign that's the direction I'm gonna be printing. So okay, quick thing I like to do here is to pop a Jupyter notebook and visualize some code, right? Because that's, again, I'm doing this the way I learn, and the process for me is to play with the code and see how the code works, right? I'm not ashamed of being a beginner. I'm not ashamed of, like, I'm also a little rusty in Python. I've been doing Swift for a while now, and there are certain things that I definitely need to practice, and that's one of them. So I'm just trying to pop a Jupyter notebook. I'm sure I have a HackerRank exercise. So let's go ahead and create a new Jupyter notebook here, and I'm just gonna play with this function right here. So function goes like this: def staircase takes an integer n. So I'm gonna say for every item in the range of n. I'll figure out if I need to do pointer arithmetic. I'm going to print. So I'm just gonna do this and figure out how. So let's call this case 1. Staircase, we're gonna call it width 4. So okay, and we print 4. Okay, so print. Got an idea. I can do print. It's gonna be some sort of counter. So I can say print that times n, and with the counter update every time it loops. Because that we have 4. Then for the second line I'm gonna need 3. Then I'm gonna need 2. Then I'm gonna need 1, right? So the space is what's gonna be tricky, because I can say let's just see here. Counter is gonna be equal to n, and then I'm gonna say print that times counter less equal to 1 minus equal to 1. No, we're getting there. We're getting there. So I'm gonna do times counter, and then I'm going to counter minus equal 1. We're getting there, I'm telling you. But we're printing from the top. 4, 3, 2. We haven't figured out the spaces yet, but we will. We're getting there. We got a staircase backwards. But let's see here. Print that. What about this? Times I plus 1. Nope. No. Nope. We're doing wrong arithmetic here, people. That should be better. Here we go. Now it's right aligned. This is not right aligned. And this is gonna be some sort of like string method. Some weird Python thing. I am sure. So how do you do that in Python again? I forgot how to manipulate strings in Python. Come on. I mean, we're close. We're very close. We haven't figured out the space yet. Remember how the last lane can have space and all that? According to the problem here, it says the last line is not preceded by any spaces. So we see how it's right aligned. I'm sure it's in the form. You know, I have some mistakes in their form, but I'm getting there. So for every item in the range of n, we're printing this symbol. And we are going to times this. I can't add any. It would be to the string itself. It's gonna be an error because it's using an operand. Symbol is gonna be equal to this. So I'm gonna print the symbol. Trying to think. L justify, right justify, so it'll be R just. Yeah, I know the problem, but I forgot how to not interpolate, but how do you call that in Python? Because I basically what I need to do. I've been using Swift too long. In Swift, you can do this. And that's what I would do in Swift. It's basically passing a function within the string. I forgot how to do that in Python. I'm gonna have to check that out again. But I think you do something like this, like F. I totally forgot. So you do F outside of it, and then you no. I totally forgot how to do that in Python. I have to definitely check that out. Alright guys, sorry for not talking. I have 25 minutes. Plus that, so got a good amount of time here already. String, how do you call that? String. String, you interpret. I'm just gonna say string manipulation in Python. Multiplication, slicing, concatenation. That's how we're gonna do the space, probably concatenating space, slicing, indexing, string methods. No, it's not one of these. Passing, I'm just gonna type it. Passing data to a string in Python. F strings, here we go, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, you do the F. So I was into string formatting. I remember that was cool. Hello, yeah, I remember that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool when we were like, even with hash maps. Greetings, hello. Name and age. You pass the format and you pass the name here and then the age. Template string. This is cool too. Template, hello, name, age. Concatenating and string formatting can be slower than F strings. F strings, definitely. That's the way we're gonna go. So use this. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. I wasn't too far off. But yeah, you go like this. And then F, and here I can say that, and this here I'm gonna say else R, the R just gonna close that one there and open this one here. It doesn't have to be double, does it? No, I remember if you do this. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Lovely Python. I'm a little out of shape in Python, but that's the same. That's the main reason we're doing this. Oh, come on, man. You're being down now. It's gotta be double. All right. Because I'm doing it outside here. Okay. um Nope. See, I know I'm doing it. I know that's wrong. I'm going backwards here. I'm going backwards. Bear with me. Okay. I'm not calling this method. That's why it's also giving me trouble. Or justify. Can I have some? Sounds like this method is gonna solve a lot of our problems. Right, justify a string with less than or equal to the original string length. Interesting. So it's gonna be within and space fill character. These examples here are awful because they're showing the two different things with the same friggin' piece of code. So this is wrong. But basically, let's put a space there. Okay, let's do this then. Include, that's what I thought. On match. Can we just do space here? All right. Length and character. The default is space. So to the left of the string. So really I just have to put in there. And it's filling all these spaces with, so I just need the arithmetic I had earlier. Times in. Yeah. Nope. Times counter. Wait a second, let me check here. Counter. Times n. We're getting a cooler output actually. Times the counter, but we don't need the space, so it's backwards. We're just playing with this thing now. Counter, so let's do one. Oh, wait a second. I can do R just here. Technically, that is a string. You know? And just say, hey, bring that times the counter. Counter. We're getting there. Times I plus 1. close, 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 close. We're getting there, guys. So 4, 3, 2, and 1, but it's filling up. I mean, that's the closest I've been. 4, 3, and 2. So I'm printing the symbol, which is this, times I, which goes up by every iteration, then it justifies. Well, the problem is that it's filling up with space. So what happens if I take the space away? Where is this thing again? Character. I just wanted to see the space there. So okay. Problem is that it's a line, it's right justifying it after, and the problem with that is that it's printing the sequence. I plus 1 justify the counter by the counter, which just goes down by a iteration. What am I missing here? What about if I do L? See, on that side it works. That's exactly what I want, but on the other side. And I would do that plus 1. I knew it was going to throw an error. Plus 1 here. No. You guys see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to add this space in the third place. But that doesn't work like that. So if I go like this, see, that's what I want, but to the right just don't do it. Can I do... that right strip is getting me. I know this takes an argument. It's the space. It's not right strip. I knew it. There it is, guys. I just had to play with it, but damn it. I mean, I'm not 100% sure this is the answer, but this looks like the output. So let's do like 12. This looks like the output, and the last line doesn't have any spaces. Now, I'm not saying this is gonna be the solution, but this is an approach that, based on the output, looks very similar, right? So yeah, let's try to implement it. We're creating a counter based on the integer we get, just so we can what am I using? Okay, counter. I'm not using the counter. So am I stupid here? I don't need the counter. Printing it times I plus 1, because the iteration goes up. Justify it times n, which is going to give it the width. I don't need the counter. So even better. Now, I'm not sure this is the solution, even though we can see here there's no space in the last printing one. And let's just check something here. Let's just add these there. Yes. Okay. I think this is gonna be the solution. This is our all the spaces. The last one doesn't have any spaces, so it doesn't fill with the extra symbol. Now, the problem with this solution might be that the interviewer would want me to apply this. I'm using a method here. It's a built-in method, but the interviewer might want me to do it myself. So I might need to find that out. I might need to find how I can do that myself. Okay, let's try to implement this now and see what happens. Okay, let's go here and say we have the symbol that we need to print that is going to be equal to the string of pound that we're going to say for every item in the range of the integer n. We're going to say print and we're going to use a f string, and we're going to say print this symbol okay. Print the symbol times I plus 1, and since this is our string, we're going to say our just we want the width to equal the integer n. And that's our string. Oh, I see where I did something. I did a thing. Why am I using double quotation? I need to practice a little bit Python. Wait a second, it doesn't recognize it as a... It doesn't recognize it as a... Oh, it does, okay. Interesting. Here, the single quote. Well, guys, we passed the output. We passed the test. Yeah, like a very simple piece of code. We're using our justify. None of the constraints say we cannot use it, so I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and submit the code and see what happens. It took us a while to get there, but we got there. We pass. We pass. Let's go. You guys saw me try this like 600 times a year, but hey, we got it. That's the main thing. That's what I like a little bit practice here in the Jupyter notebooks, because I get to see the output. I know in an interview setting these things are not allowed, but again, I'm trying to refresh my process in Python. I'm trying to, um, learn things. I'm gonna Google some things here, some things there. That's part of the practice process. Um, you're still doing the thinking, right? I still doing the thinking. I still have to put the code together. But actually, also, this is not like one of the best problems to go about, because these kind of problems, um, you're not really thinking about an algorithm. You're trying to find the way to print something in the console the way they ask for. And my next question would be like, how can I do that without using a method? How can I do that manually? And this is another good example to use AI, because I can Google that, but I rather go straight to AI and be like, hey, how can I implement this without having to use a method? Or in an interview setting, how can I make this code work? And the AI is going to give me some good answers. So part of the process, I'll record it. We passed this, we're good, but I want to, like, what's the next step on it? What's the next thing I have to do? So the way to ask that, let me see, it will be like, how can I improve this code for an interview setting? I am using a Python method, and I'm just gonna adjust. And I'm not sure if these would be allowed in an interview for a tech company. Would that be okay? It's gonna be like, oh, it's gonna depend on the interviewer, blah 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 blah. Would that be okay? Or is there a more robust approach to this? Here the code. And he doesn't know the problem necessarily, but it definitely will figure it out. Here I do say whether using ArcGIS with appropriate interview setting. While ArcGIS is a valid Python interviews have to receive more fundamental approaches, especially for problems that can be solved without built-in string formatting methods. That was the whole thing. Let's refactor this code and use a more basic approach that demonstrates your understanding of loops and string manipulation. Here's an improved version of the code. So for every adding in the range from 1 to n+1 spaces times n minus I symbols times I print spaces plus symbol. Let's break down improvement. We remove the dependency on ArcGIS, instead manually creating the spaces and symbols. We are using a single loop that goes from 1 to n inclusive, which is more intuitive for this problem. We calculate the number of spaces and symbols by each row explicitly. Yep. And we concatenated less spaces and symbols before printing, which is a more fundamental string operation. True. Your understanding of the manual handle string, proper use of Babel, and interview setting, this version would likely be more appreciated as it shows a deeper understanding of the problem and it doesn't rely on less commonly used string methods. Additionally, here's a few more tips for Universe.co. Consider input validation. If not is an instance n integer less than n, raise value must be a positive integer. So yeah, in this case, since we knew that the constraint said that always n was going to be greater than 1, we didn't have to worry about this particular edge case, which it's a good point. If we wouldn't have the constraint, if we would have to worry about negative numbers, then definitely we would want that we wanted to check that n is always positive, right? You might want to discuss time express complexity. This solution is O of n. That's a good point, but I kind of knew this was going to be O of n because we have to iterate the whole range based on this the number or the integer we get. So, you know, n equals 15. We're gonna have to go from 1 to 15 inclusive, and that's a n time operation because that's the size of n grows. Then we're gonna have more numbers to iterate. The space complexity is really not a problem here because, especially in this case, we're just assigning a simple value to symbol that we are reusing here. So it's pointing back to it. So really, we're not using a lot of space here. We're not creating a new data structure or anything. And any trade-offs you consider. If asked, you can mention that while your solution prints directly, you can modify it and return string if that's preferred. See, they're going the long way, obviously. Here we know we don't have to return anything. The output format says print. Star case, the function doesn't say explicitly it doesn't return anything, but it's telling you to print. And for Python, that's very specific. Eternal handling flexibility in your approach. Yeah, this is awesome. This is cool. Row. Story result for I in range 1 plus 1 row space times n minus 1 plus times I result append dot row. This is pretty cool. Actually, I can see why the problem hits different. Let's do, let me rename these two staircase. Let's actually try to implement that new one and learn from that, So what Claude is saying, it's basically just go ahead and get the loop, print the spaces based on n and the symbols based on I, and then print. So for every item in the range of 1 to n plus 1, row or space. Alexa.
I love you, Taylor. Te amo mi amor. And Roo. Roo.
Alexa, volume to 3. Thank you. Alexa, lights to white.
Okay.
Beautiful. Sure about that. So space is going to be equal to times I, and symbol is going to be equal to times n. Then he says you can print space and symbol. If we call staircase okay, I see what I'm doing here. Times space symbol times I n minus 1. Oh, okay. I did it backwards. Times n minus 1 because I want n to spaces symbols plus brother. Man, I'm putting this like it's a return function. It's a print, but it's coming the other way. So this solution really doesn't solve the problem. One n plus 1 spaces times space times n minus 1 symbol there is a problem with this, you little genius. There is a problem. See, but let's think ourselves here. Let's think how we can make this justified to the right. So we would print we're printing the spaces first. Let's just say something because I don't want to, because in this case it's not working. Huh. Interesting. It's not me, it's you. It's not me, it's you. I see another error I made there. Yeah, I'm not doing something right. For every item in range from 1 to n plus 1, spaces times n minus 1, spaces times n minus 1, symbols times I, print spaces plus symbols. They call the staircase on 5. Interesting. So my solution, what should be something? Oh, you dumb fuck. It's n minus I. See? This problem kind of got the best of me, but hey, that's what we're here, right? We're learning. You reduce the amount of spaces, so times n, which is going to be 5, minus 1, 4, minus 1, 3, minus 1, 2, so it reduces the amount of spaces, and it prints the symbol as it goes. Jesus. Another good resource I like to use to visualize what's going on is this website. So it's gonna call the function. Wow, these people added a lot of ads. Here we go. Okay. Staircase n equals 5 for every item in range, so I is equals to 1, space times n minus 1, so we have n minus I, so we have four spaces here, because n 5 minus 1, 4 amount of spaces. Then we get our symbol times I is equal to 1. We print that. We go back up. Space is equal to 3. Print the symbol equals to 2. Here we go. Go back up. Space is equal to 2. Spaces go down. Symbols goes up. Go back. Spaces equal to 1. Symbols equal to 4. Print that. We're done. Space is equal to 0. There's nothing there. Symbol equal to 4 to 5. Return value is none. And that's it, my friend. That's it, my friend. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Actually, that was cool visualizing that. Where is this thing? Let me go ahead and check. Now that we're here, let me go ahead and check this, which is going to be kind of like the same. It's just going to rely on a little more abstraction. Call staircase n equals to 5, symbol. Then we're gonna, for I in range of n, I is equals 0, print the symbol times I plus 1. I is equal to 1 times I plus 1, print 2. And it's just defined afterwards and adding the spaces to the left. So I'm literally just printing the symbol in ascending order going down, and the method's taking care of the spaces and the justifying it to the right. Which took less amount of steps. So I don't know. Honestly, if I compare these two codes, it might be. If I compare these two codes, running time, which I don't think this does, sent it. No. I'm gonna use the second approach now. This is scented and it's saved. So I just want to try it again. Solved. Staircase. I'm gonna go ahead and solve it again with the second approach. Just to practice a little more too, so I'm gonna say that for every item in the range from 1 to n plus 1 inclusive, we're gonna say that spaces are gonna be equal to that times n minus I. We're gonna subtract the spaces as we saw, and symbols are gonna be equal to the symbol times, and we're gonna add symbols times I. This is minus I symbols, and then we are going to print spaces plus symbols. Let's see how that works. Again, it passes too. Wish we would have a runtime. Runtime operate. That's why LeetCode has that. I wonder if you have to. Wow. I want to learn Go, but it looks so weird. I can probably try to solve it in Swift. Like Python. N equal input running range 1 plus 1 print. Yeah. Basically subtract spaces and not symbols. This guy used the same solution I did. First time. That's gonna be, what is that? That's Java. Cool, okay. Easy problem, but hey. We are moving forward. This is the next problem. It's 10:18. I might take a little break and come back to this problem. I need to move back to full screen. Here we go. Alright. Thanks for following or watching if you did. And see you to the next problem.